you at the end of last session, you guys were resting outside of this town. I think you were all taking a long rest.
Years.
And that's 8 total hours, 6 on watch, which isn't a big, or 2 hours on watch, which isn't that big of a deal because DT. Was there anything, Buck, were you gonna want to raise your familiar before you go into the town? Was there anything anybody else wanted to do? Make sure you long rest so you get your health points back.
Or like on the character.
Yeah, on your character.
I think I'm good actually.
I did
Maybe
a
I did
long
that at
rest
the
in
end of last
D&D
session.
Beyond.
Yeah.
And leveled. We were all supposed to level, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
To which level? 3 already?
3. Mm-hmm. Early levels go quick,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the rest of them go slow. Just remember.
That's right. I
so
got
you're not
one-
freaking out.
I got a new spell.
They want to kind of brush you
Same.
through to get your sweet, like,
It's why a lot of people just start at level 3. Like, they'll just start a campaign
yeah,
at 3
for-
because...
I won't get any druid shit until at least level 2. Like, it's kind of crazy to be like, you're a Circle of the Moon druid, or a Circle of Fungus in my case, and it's like, you don't get any of those powers until level 2. So how did I know that was me?
Yeah.
I've been
Dean,
studying
did
the
that
spores.
spellbook I found have any level 2 spells in it?
Let me go look. That was in the house, right?
Yeah, yellow cover.
You found that in the dungeon?
It was in that lock chest downstairs. Yeah.
Going to my journal.
Oh man, a friend of mine said we should just start using hard G's for everything.
I don't remember where the hell that was. Quarters? Okay. It had first level spells, Disguise Self, Identify, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Protection from Evil and Good. Second level, Dark Vision, Hold Person, Invisibility, and Magic Weapon.
Okay, I am going to at least. Yeah.
A cleric cast a spell out of a wizard spellbook.
I think there's a feat you can take that'll let you do it, but I don't think on default. I'd have to look. Pretty sure not on default. Unless you get it later or something.
Maybe I don't get second levels. No.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, dog's barking at something. Probably somebody literally walking by.
How dare
Hey,
they?
quit being a twat. I will bring you inside. Ah,
So,
quit being twatly.
Bringer, were you going to summon your familiar now, or were you gonna not do that?
I'm gonna summon my little familiar now and kind of
Okay.
put him in my pocket.
Okay, so then that takes how long?
It takes 1 hour, I believe.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So I'll probably do it while I'm on watch. But,
Yeah, that's fair.
like,
Well, you can't cast magic in the middle of your rest, otherwise
Right.
you have to reset. And so the watch is considered part of your rest. So it would be, so we basically just say that you guys were here for 9 hours instead of 8. Just chilling outside of the town.
Also, that's totally how long I sleep, so that's fine.
Must be nice.
Now it's
I don't
accurate.
get second level spells yet
No, I
anyway.
don't
So I don't get second level spells until 10 levels. So.
Okay. So that puts you at about 6 in the evening, 6:30, as you're outside of this town. I did, I think last game I went through this, but I'll just do it here too. It's kind of just the village approach stuff. But so tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance. as you guys are kind of, putting up camp and everything, you hear the sound of small wooden wheels rolling across damp cobbles. You trace the lonely sound to a hunched figure bundled in rags, pushing a rickety wooden cart through the fog.
Have we moved into town? We've broken camp. We're packed up.
You're packed up, and you've pretty much stepped foot into this scene that you're seeing right here.
Okay.
So let me swap over to the town. Just a second. Do some stuff. Oh, it actually kept some of the settings.
Let's see how you work. It tastes like the old head shop smell to my town. Like a real, grape incense.
All right, so here is the town, and you're pretty much just on the outskirts. And like I said, you hear a cart being pushed by a hunched figure bundled in rags.
Oh shit! The top-down rain is dope as hell.
I will observe the cloaked figure from a distance, and if they appear to be aware of our presence, I will greet them.
Okay. So they aren't. They're just kind of going down the street, going door to door, knocking on the doors. As you observe them, actually, let me get rid of this token and give you guys your own token, so you can kind of just go where you want. In theory, I'm not going to bring in your familiar right now.
Yeah.
So anyway,
he's gonna live in my backpack.
Yeah. So there's your token is way too small, Bringer.
He's a gnome.
That's a little too much.
He's a genome.
There we go.
He's gnome Stansfield.
All right. So you're watching her, Buck, and so you see her go from door to door, just knocking, and most people aren't answering. Are you just gonna keep watching her?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait and see what happens when somebody responds to her. Like, she's obviously doing something, and I'm kind of curious about what's going on in this town. What with the sobbing in the distance and everything, I'm not getting a particularly welcoming vibe. So I'm gonna see what this reg lady's up to.
Okay, so she's went down the street, so she's kind of over here. So you're just kind of watching her from the shadows, basically. So you see her knock on a door, and someone actually. You can't what?
I can't move the map.
Right click?
Yeah, doesn't seem to be going.
I'm able to with my observer one, so you should be able to.
Okay, there it goes.
Yeah. All right, so
I kind of skipped across the street, and I am peering from the other side.
All right, so she knocks on the door, and the door opens, and she is trading something with the person inside the house, and she receives payment in the form of a young child. You can hear from where you are the parents pleading with the woman to not take their son, but she snatches the crying child from the grasp and stuffs him in a sack, straps him down to her peddler's cart, and starts moving on.
Is she moving any more quickly now that she's got a kid in the sack in her cart, or is this just a pretty common thing that she's continuing to sort of trudge down the street?
I would say she's moving with purpose down the street, but she's done.
More houses?
No, she's basically acting like she's done. She's heading back to her home.
Okay. Oh dear.
So what do you do?
I'm going to mark the house that she had taken the child from.
Okay.
You're
Um,
fading out real bad.
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay. If I can map on it.
I can.
Basically, just so that
Yep,
like,
there you go.
if we ever get a kid back.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I was gonna. Is Buck like taking off? Are you running or?
I'm not running. I'm just sort of following. I'm trying to see where she goes, but I wanted to like make a quick like scratch, or symbol I would recognize down nice and low, on the street near the house there. That, like, and then I'm gonna kind of keep going around the corner to like see where she goes. So
Okay, so she continues down the street. Not that. She continues down the street and heads this direction. We can just say that you're continuing to shout at her unless you want to do something else, but ultimately she's going to head out of town.
all right, I'm gonna make sure that they're following me at least before I follow her too closely.
Okay.
Yeah,
But when
I've
she
been
leaves,
tailing.
town, I'm gonna take a quick break. Hopefully, there's enough distance, like now that she's sort of outside of the houses and streets, that I can kind of see her for long enough where we can have a quick chat and like discuss what we want to do. And I'm gonna say, I think she just took a kid from that house.
Yeah, I've been tailing behind.
Like,
and, like
not a goat,
Yeah.
actual child, human one.
this,
What I don't know what
I'll
they're
admit
called.
this doesn't look good, but we're new in town. We don't want to start an incident first thing.
Maybe he's sick.
Yeah, maybe she's taking him to the doctor.
Okay.
Should we go talk to the parents and ask what happened? You think they'd talk to us?
Split the party. I think somebody should keep an eye.
Don't split the party.
Is it our duty to check in on these people, or let's?
Should we
come
just-
to town for? We were going to go talk to the mayor of Burger Town, right?
Shit, where were we left off?
The
Like, what
burger
was
of
there?
Barovia.
We have a letter. We have some deeds. We have a creepy man in a carriage who said they'd follow our career with great interest. And I don't know if we have a discreet mission in town.
I will say, as you guys are discussing this, she's about right here and heading this way. So if you're going to do something with her, you need to do it now.
I think we should follow her a little bit more closely because we can always come back to town and talk to the parents afterwards. And I'm going to take a few steps towards wherever she is.
Yeah. Can I cut
Alright.
across this field and keep an eye on her?
Yeah, if you want to cut across to get to the road to get in front of her, absolutely.
Yeah. Should we head
Alright.
her off, or
Why
just
don't we?
keep?
Why don't we have a chat with her? We don't know if anything's wrong. We can just have a talk.
So like we set up a minor step out and say hi ambush.
Okay.
At the road out of town here, if that's all right.
Okay, so she sees you and pauses for a moment, as if in thought of, should I turn around?
And I put on my very best like shyster, tuck my thumbs in behind my suspenders and kind of step out the door and be like, "Hello, fair maiden. How are you today?"
Yeah, got a big hey, how's it going? Just wave like hung in the air.
She
Yeah.
she doesn't approach. She just kind of stands and looks around, kind of trying to think of where she should go.
I seem to have caught you at a loss for words. That's all right. I've got just the thing for you. Or just the thing for that. And I take a couple of like happy, like cheerful steps toward her. Well, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Buck LeBuckle, and I offer many fine potions to provide countenance, intelligence, and wit to any fine individual I can run across.
As
Health and wellness in a bottle.
she doesn't say anything at first. As you approach, you can see on her cart that there's pastries on it, along with the bag. And she says, could you get out of my way? Or sorry, that's not a very good voice. She's way older than what that sounds like, but she basically asks you to get out of the way because she's on her way home, and offers you a pastry for your troubles.
I say, "Oh, my lady, I'm sorry. We did not mean to interrupt you. My word, might we escort you to your fine home?" And I take the pastry with a gloved hand.
Okay. She says that won't be any problem. I can handle the road alone.
It's not the road I'm worried about, ma'am. It's the wolves.
Oh, the wolves don't bother me.
Oh, they sure bother me, and I'd hate to see and it would bother me if they bothered you. So, I think I might have to just help you out on this fine evening, ma'am. And I kind of just turn around and start walking up the road the way that she had been heading.
So you're heading out of town?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are
At
killing
a
me.
slightly slow pace, but still kind of with my thumbs behind my suspenders swagger. Obviously, there's no problem with this. This is just.
As we're walking, I'm like, do you have a plan here? Should we just say, hey, what's with the kid in the sack that you just took?
That might be a good option. I didn't. Yeah, go for that one.
I look to the other two, like, are you guys ready for some uncomfortable questions?
Always.
Starts in her
In a
infinite
light,
weirdness, just gestures at the road and awwoos.
Just let her go get eaten by wolves?
Ambivalent shrug.
I am going to just lightly rest my hand on my scimitar handle and my other hand on my crossbow, just in case.
So I'm
she-
gonna pause really quickly, right after DT kind of brings the stuff, and while everybody's kind of shuffling, and I spin around with my pipe in one hand. And I kind of pop it by the way, what's with the cart full of kids?
Kid. It's one kid.
Yeah.
But
By the way,
It's a
what's
small
with the sack?
cart.
What's with the kid in the sack? Puff puff.
just collecting what I'm owed.
Wow.
You'll have to forgive us, but that seems unusual as a form of payment. We're from out of town, you see.
Now,
This clearly makes perfect sense to start.
Yeah.
Like-
Sometimes you get a kid as payment.
No, the whole concept of money is stupid, so this looks perfectly normal.
Yeah,
It's like,
barter.
oh, yeah, okay.
Somebody made a bad deal.
and Buck kind of allows his eyes to go wide and be like, "Whew, that must have been some deal. What'd you do?"
Just payment for the pastries.
Oh my, one of these? I hold up the pastry that had kind of just been not doing anything with.
Yes, they're
What's so special about 'em?
they're normally 1 gold, but if you can't pay, I take other things in payment.
Oh my, what do I owe you for this?
Oh, that one's free.
I see. Now, I'm not from around these parts. Puff on my pipe a little bit. But I've never paid a gold for a pastry before. Puff, puff, puff. This must be some pastry, and I kind of I look at it pretty closely. And what makes this so special?
They bring respite from these troubled times in this troubled place.
Oh my, I did have a terrible sleep last night.
I'm counting
Yeah.
out coins. And do I have 2 gold? Probably.
I don't know, you have to track your own.
Yes. No, based on where we're at. I haven't spent anything, so I would.
Right.
So, by that logic, would you accept 2 gold for the child?
Oh no, I have
the
other
paste-
uses for the child.
Now,
I could go as high as 5. And I've got 5 GP. Surely you could buy several
This is
children.
clearly
again,
a
I'm not from
foreign
around.
experience for Starts, and she just looks very confused.
She begrudgingly takes the 5 gold and gives you the sack and continues on her way. Unless you are going to try and stop her.
No, I think that's it. She didn't seem to have anything else nefarious on her cart, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So remove
Now the
5
question-
gold, add sack of child to your inventory.
Do I open the sack and tell them it's gonna be fine, or just like sort of? I think I would like hold it at arm's length and just march back to the house. I don't know what was in here, but they seemed upset that it was taken. Looked like a child. Where is my gold?
So she's
I
she's
looked
trying
at
to
my-
head down the road. Are you guys
before
letting
she
her go?
leaves, Can I
Okay.
have a,
Yeah,
before
I'm
she
just
leaves, Can I have a
standing
quick
there.
aside with you? We can do it here, but I just need to check and see how something artificery would work.
Okay.
I know I can use an artificer thing to make light, and I can do simple things with like threads and such. So my question is, could I, with a sufficient length of thread, do 2 artificer infusions on it? Well, not infusions, but the tinkering, magical tinkering, to have it sever a length of the thread every few minutes, and then after several hours to light up.
So leaving like
Breadcrumbs
a
ish.
breadcrumb trail. Yeah. So like you attach it to the bottom of the wagon, and it drops a piece of thread every 100 feet, and then they light up after a certain amount of time. So you could follow a dotted line, Family Circus style.
And you're gonna try and do that with her not noticing?
Well, so one of the things that I have with the magical tinkering is I have to have a focus, and it's either thieves' tools or like tinkering tools, because it's kind of like I'm doing a thing with it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I was also like, before we started the campaign, I was gonna see if I could make the focus my pipe.
Yes, you can definitely do that.
So basically, I'm gonna be puffing away on my pipe and like kind of just bend down and inspect the wagon, be like, let's get some like and take a kind of like a look at her suspension underneath her wagon, because I'm pretty small, right?
Oh, I was thinking
Gotta,
you
like,
could
bend
use your
down,
pipe
like-
to like blowgun like.
Bringer,
a
you didn't
pin
take your
with a
long
little bit of
rest.
thread.
I thought I did.
On D&D Beyond, I'm looking at your thing. You don't have any infusions left and things like that, which is not right.
Oh, sorry, I did the long rest in the other.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Done in D&D Beyond.
Yep. All right.
So it could just look like a thread with a needle with thread dangling off it, and you could shoot it out of your pipe and stick in the back of the cart without anybody noticing.
So basically, you're wanting to imbue it. You know what? I'll let you do it.
Yeah, just magical tinkering. I'm doing the light and also.
I'll
like
let you do all of that, but I need a sleight of hand roll for you to be able to get this on the cart without her noticing.
Absolutely, that seems entirely reasonable. So as I said, I'm bending, like I'm already quite low to the ground, and I'm gonna give DT a little like a look, like as I'm puffing on my pipe, as I'm like kind of backing up towards the cart, give DT a look, which I'm hoping means he's gonna do something to distract her to give me advantage on my roll.
Yeah, I'll just sort of hold up the bag and be like, "Thanks again. Hey, do you know any other place that would be good for getting more kids?" I guess.
She looks at you incredibly confused. Yeah, I'll give you advantage for that nonsense that just happened.
Hey, look at me! I'm doing Bart's over there doing stuff. Bart, quit causing a distraction. quit causing a diversion.
You know what? Yeah, with 16, I'll let you do that.
Yes. Yeah. So I took this. I basically took a little needle and thread, kind of swoop it up underneath and like just jam it into the wood behind her cart. So it should be pretty imperceptible, I think, while she's moving, but allow us to track her in a few hours if we need. Be like, now I'm like, yeah, good suspension. Probably could get a couple of kids on that cart without too much trouble, and then like puff on my pipe and walk away.
All right, let's. Yeah, are we done with her? Anybody else have anything?
I'm just basically like, let's beat feet. Like that was the weirdest fucking exchange I've ever done, and be like, look at DT and be like, give him like a little nod, sort of puffing on my pipe and like going back down the street to the city, the town.
And I hold up the bag, but still don't open it. I just say, "Don't worry, we'll get you home soon." And then, just sort of head down the street.
Do we want to be known for this? If so, maybe DT should carry the child on his shoulders and march triumphantly back in hopes of a reward.
I don't know. DT is skeptical. It's like because he's a student of human nature. He's got the anthropologist background. It's just like,
Oh! She starts clapping frantically. Leave bag, run!
just drop it on the doorstep and leave.
Yes.
She apparently thinks that would be hilarious.
Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm carrying the bag and heading back to the house that we made a note of.
Let's see why the parents, or if the parents know what's so good about those damn pastries. I'm
And then,
hungry and I want to know if we should eat that.
Yeah,
Drop, run,
that may turn out to be the
Drop,
best idea. but
run.
That's not
hide,
how we do.
Watch. Yes.
And I knock on the door. Wait,
Bringer, you're muted.
Bringer talking.
What languages do you speak, DT? I feel like I would know.
I don't know. Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, and Undercommon.
Damn it, we only speak Common as a common language.
Is Gnomish one? I don't know. I think
I
got
have
these from-
Gnomish. I have Gnomish.
These were picked by anthropologists. I don't know if I actually went and chose those myself. Dwarvish and Elvish. I think I did
it's
because they
probably
were.
reason-
I would
know.
let you retcon change one of those to Gnomish because it would make
Yeah.
sense.
with our history, yeah,
Yep.
being so intertwined. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna say a Gnomish.
I
be
will
like,
take out
okay,
Dwarvish.
DT.
Yeah.
What if you keep stay back in the shadows with the kid in the sack? I'll talk to the parents, find out if we actually want to give the kid back to the guys that just gave a kid away. Like, maybe that's not the best play here.
I think it's important to remember they were very upset.
Yeah. That's what I was going off of.
Yeah,
And,
I guess.
And with the anthropologist, I was just gonna spin some bullshit.
I'll just hide around the corner in case they need shootings, or the kid needs shootings, or anything needs shooting.
Yeah, not that it really.
Buck
but-
kind of nods. He's like, "Yeah, that's a pretty good convincing argument, DT." No, they did look pretty unhappy.
Okay.
I'll hide.
And
I'll stay in the shadows then.
Even if you guys are just like down on the curb and I'm up on the porch or whatever, like knocking on the door.
Okay, so
Make
are
them feel
you
better.
knocking on the door?
Yes.
All right. So they open the door and they kind of reel back because they have never seen something like you before.
Yeah.
But they see the sack and they just start crying and thanking you.
Yeah, it's on the ground by me, and I'm holding my hands up, like palms forward, and it's like, "Hello, I'm sorry, I don't understand exactly what happened, but you seemed so
From the
upset."
street corner. Audio visual presentation.
I don't think that's necessary. I'm just like, yeah, we're new to your city, but you seem so upset. The woman who took your child didn't want much for his return. It was the least we could do. I hope this helps. And I just sort of like start backing away. I don't know if they even speak my language or not. The woman on the cart did, so.
Yeah. So they
common.
they open the bag up as their son comes out crying and he gives them a hug, and they thank you again and shut the door.
Oh,
So right before they can shut the door, I kind of,
yeah.
he's gonna basically like step and be like, "So what's the deal with the croissants?"
The croissants, the pastries.
yeah.
They're pies basically.
What's the deal with
Yeah.
the other pies?
They just shut the door.
Right, and I'm,
They do not want to talk. They just shut the door.
Well,
no,
I
I don't
turn
really
and
want to
look-
eat this pie.
yeah, I would.
I'm still holding the pie, and I'm like,
Leave pie.
Can we do a poison check on that pie? We check it for
Or
drugs.
I'm gonna slice the pie down the middle to see what it's made of. Like, cut it open.
detect magic.
It
What's
is
going
a
on with it?
savory pie. It is a meat pie.
But what's the meat? Is it
I don't
don't
think
know.
she was putting kids in their pies, do you?
Mm.
Because I'm getting a
I'm
real kids in pies
sure-
vibe from this town, and I kind of like just sort of point into the air with my pipe, like sort of gesturing, sort of at the like sound of sobbing that you can still hear. I assume.
Yeah, so when you were walking around, you actually passed pretty much where so they're sobbing from all over the fucking place. But there's a
Specific sob zone.
there's a distinct sob coming from that house. Like it's probably the loudest as you walked by.
Okay.
But you hear unhappy people as you walk past houses.
Doesn't sound
And
like the most gentle of greatest town.
Do
Did we see
wanna
like
head-
an inn or like a pub or anywhere like a common area where we were strutting around?
Are there any kind of public areas?
So you heard the cry coming from up here, and actually you didn't pass this house, so you wouldn't have known. But so I
Well,
told
we
you
know
that
we're
anyway.
coming down that street.
Oh, you did come down that street?
So I came around the corner to about
Right. Okay,
there,
that's fair.
and then
All
I
right.
cut across the field.
yeah, once we could see that they connected.
So there's a large house down here that you're not 100% sure what it is, but there is a large house down here. You know there's crying from there. There's a bunch of other houses. But you did not see an inn in the path that you took.
Do we want to go back up to what was like the center right when we walked into town?
Great. I think we should do a walk around, do a general sussing, because who knows what else there is. There's got to be a pub or some kind of gathering place where we might get more information rather than knocking on random doors.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I look down to Buck and I'm like, we apparently we just reunited a family. I've spent 5 gold for less. I say we take a look around.
Yeah, I don't know where we want to go in this place. Let's continue on into this direction then. We kind of go back, keep going in the direction that we'd been headed before we did the shortcut.
Okay. The house on your left is a weary-looking mansion squats behind a rusting iron fence. The iron gates are twisted and torn. There's an icon in my way. The right gate lies cast aside while the left swings lazily in the wind. The stuttering squeal and clang of the gate repeats with mindless precision. Weeds choke the grounds and press with menace upon the house itself. Yet against the walls, the growth has been tramped down to create a path all about the domain. Heavy claw marks have stripped the once beautiful finish off the walls. Great black marks tell of the fires that have assailed the mansion. Not a pane nor a shard of glass stands in any window. All the windows are barred with planks, each one marked with stains of evil omen. Can I get a perception check from whoever wants to roll?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I got a +3.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, Buck's actually enough. Well, Buck, you notice that the trampled weeds around the mansion are covered in wolf paw prints and human footprints.
Okay, I am quite concerned for this place, and I don't really think it's where we want to start our little soiree about town. And I kind of puff my pipe and use it to gesture the other direction up the street away from this fucking werewolf house.
Agreed. I've had enough of houses for a while. Managing.
All right, are you heading up north?
Yeah, I'm gonna lead the way, kind of going this way now, because I'm like, I don't want to go into that house just yet. Let's see what's going on right now.
All right, so you pass the house where the crying is coming from. I assume you just go past it.
I give it a look. I don't know, like, are there more fucking claw marks and shit on this house?
So a moaning sob flows through the still gray streets, coloring your thoughts with sadness. The sound flows from a dark 2-story house. It is boarded up and barricaded. You can again see boards in the windows. You don't see necessarily scratches, but there are paw prints in the dirt. You actually notice that that's kind of everywhere, and the houses are in great shapes in general. Nothing as bad as the mansion, but
A lot of boarded up windows though across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And scratches and
Yep. But
Two
nothing
bags?
nothing compared to the mansion.
This house is louder.
This one right here, you can, the one that
Louder
GT
sadness.
is standing on, you can hear cries specifically coming out of the top boarded up windows. Like the glass is broken, but you know, sound's going to escape. So you can tell where it's coming from.
2 bags.
we call out to them. What?
We
The
need 2 bags.
the building that that Buck is standing next to, sparse light from this building spills out from behind drawn heavy curtains. A sign over the door creaking on its hinges reads, Bildrath's Mercantile.
Hey, a store. I tap off my pipe. I'm like, you know what? They might have at least they might have some idea what's going on in town. It'd be a good place to chat. So I kind of go in and I walk up to the door and I push it open calmly.
Okay. Inside
I
the
w-
building. Go ahead.
So I would assume that I have like a big Ninja Turtles cloak, like because I know that people are not used to seeing a Warforged, so I'm just sort of like the big security cloak from Unbreakable, just like a hood. And a
Where
poncho.
did you get this cloak from?
The curtains that we pulled from the old house?
It's red velvet, so they think he's secretive yet showy.
No, I was saying
Remember,
I would
stuff
think-
from the house just collapsed, so that's
Right.
yeah.
I was saying I would think that that would be part of my standard inventory, but maybe that's what I'm shopping for here if I don't have it.
You do not have a cloak.
Okay, then I
Yep.
would be just sort of standing around. I guess he's a body positive Warforged.
Skulk in the
acceptance.
shadows. Just lurk.
No, I
Lurk
think
in
he's strong and proud, and he's more than happy to explain his origins to anyone.
It's terrible.
Unless someone else has a cloak that they could give you. Yeah, you do not have one.
Okay.
No, but
I'll shop for it.
we've done this kind of routine before. Where, he'll sometimes pretend to be a robot of mine, like a giant, enormous, exceptionally well crafted golem.
It's incredibly obvious that none of you are from here. So yeah.
Let's not
we're
try.
So as you you come in, there's a human commoner at the table, and he welcomes you as you come in. He
I
says,
greet him and say, "Hello.
"Hello, stranger. What can I help you with?"
Oh, we've been on the road for quite some time. We've just gotten into town and it seems quite late. You know where we can rest for the evening?"
Wait, isn't it morning?
No, he said 6 p.m.
Oh, right.
It's 7 p.m. now, but yeah.
Okay.
He says, "No inn in this town. Most people don't want to stay here for much longer than they have to. We don't have very many visitors. The inn closed up long ago."
Is there a
suck.
bathhouse?
A what?
A bathhouse.
No, nothing like that. There's a tavern up the way.
That will do.
I see. And what kind of goods do you offer, sir?
So he kind of displays what he has. Give me 2 seconds. So
Starts
he-
is watching this with absolute fascination because this is the weirdest ritual she has ever seen.
So he has general adventuring gear. So he's got arrows, crossbow bolts, arcane foci, backpacks, bedrolls. If you go into D&D Beyond and search adventuring gear, I can actually link the
Okay.
second.
I'm gonna see if I can get a big old cloak for DT and sell this guy some of my jewelry that I stole from that house.
Yeah, I've got a 25 GP ring.
I have 900 GP worth of jewelry.
You rich little bastard.
Wow. Why would this guy have 900 gold? It's not Skyrim.
So he doesn't necessarily have a cloak per se, but he has common clothes. So let's say it's a cloak. He wants 50 silver for it.
Isn't that 5 GP?
No, I think it's 100 silver per GP.
I thought it was 10.
I might be wrong.
Oh, good. You have rations. Hey,
Let me
do you
look.
have anything? Do you have anything as good as this? And I hold up the pastry.
No, I have nothing like that. Nothing that'll take the pain away.
What kind of pain does this take away?
Just makes you feel better. It lets you escape. Not something I go for though.
It's the,
Yeah, currency on D&D Beyond, it says everything's at 10. Platinum's 10
Okay,
GP,
okay.
gold's 10 SP.
Thank
except
you.
Electrum is 5 silver. And then
Okay.
fuck Electrum. Nobody uses silver's 10 copper.
Okay. So then, yeah,
5 gold.
5 gold. Yeah.
Let's see.
Which you guys
Everybody-
know well enough is a lot more expensive than this should be.
Yeah. I tell you what.
He is. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just everybody see if there's anything you want, and we'll see what we've got to trade. Just pile it up here on the counter. And I look down at Starts and I'm like, see if there's anything you want, and bring it here. We'll take care of it. I know you don't really go in for this whole thing. I just sort of point to the store and wave my arms around in general.
Those are the same arm gestures back.
Wait, sorry, where can we
I don't
see the inventory of what the store has?
Give me just a second. I'm pulling it up. I was having some computer issues.
I would just be like sort of holding things up and being like, "Yeah, do you want one of these?"
Are there any dolls for her?
So everything here, but the prices aren't right.
Price is wrong, Bob.
The price is wrong, bitch.
No, radio edit. It's time for the USA original movies version. Prices.
There
He
you go.
looks at the jewelry you're offering and offers you 400 gold for it, Buck.
I'll take it.
That's a lot of shit. Would you be like picking any of these things up or looking at them?
Absolutely. Like, this is like an anthropological moment. Like,
Yeah.
this is so weird as far as she's concerned.
But would it just be like some? Oh shit! There was a bit like that in Firefly actually. Post holer, digging holes for posts. Just start to like grabbing random stuff. Like, I ask, "Do you need anything?" But you don't really get that. You're just like, you see us piling stuff up on the counter, and you start piling other stuff. But like, oh, it's a crowbar and a vial of perfume, and like, just random
No,
shit.
because she's trying to figure out, like, why these little shiny discs. The concept of buying and selling things is weird.
Yeah.
You just take what you need in the
With
forest.
no money.
Well, does anybody else need anything?
And just let me know what you need, and I'll tell you how much it is.
I'm gonna grab a bag of caltrops for 1 GP.
Okay, that is 10 GP.
Oh, fuck that shit. I'm not buying them. No, I can't afford this
Oh,
place.
do you say that to him?
When he tells you the price.
Let's say that you do, and his response
Sure.
is, if you want it badly enough, you'll pay for it.
All right,
I,
I've got.
If I want it
I
badly
can
enough,
throw another
I will
couple
make
over.
it. Good sir.
I've got a 25 GP ring, supposedly. I'm going to be like, how about this? The cloak and that healer's kit for this ring. I know you want more, but it's what I've got.
How much is the healer's kit?
5 GP usually.
And it's, how much is the the ring's 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, says no deal.
Really?
That healer's kit itself's worth 50.
Well, that may be, but this is what I've got.
I mean, Buck just got 400 gold.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to give in to this guy's
Hey,
gouging.
what's the deal with the kids around here? And like I'm kind of coming in, like trying to
puffing the pipe.
take him kind of off off the haggle guard and like total diversion. Hey, what's the deal with the kids around here?
We don't talk about it, and it's none of your concern.
I tell you what, 5 gold and the ring. The 5 gold would get me a healer's kit in any other town. I know we're not in any other town, so you get the ring to call it square.
He just looks at you and says, "Sounds like you don't want to do business. Be on your way."
Hey, come on, friend. We just had a large transaction here, and my large friend, he's a little unusual. Maybe
This
we
is
can,
racist. It's point back. You don't want to sell to me because I'm a thing, not a person.
GT power down, and I like fake pulling like a lever on his side.
Oh, I hate that shit.
That's not how they work. That's not how they work at all.
That's how anything works.
It's not data.
I had a healer's kit. I was trying to get a second one, so I had another recharge, but it's not necessary. I'll just be like, I understand. It seems like we are not going to come to an agreement today. Good day. Just like very false courtesy and just sort of step outside onto the street.
I'm leaving. I dislike
He won.
offery.
I'm gonna buy a small shield.
Starts, burn it down.
Let's not joke about that.
Where's shield?
this part
I don't
of the
see a
game?
shield. Am I blind? There's
Oh,
no
that would
shield.
have to be a blacksmith. That's right. I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah. Are you guys done? Are you going
Did
to
he
try
get
and burn
the-
the place down?
Did Buck get an answer? Well, no, he said not.
I'll go ahead and buy that bag of caltrops. So that sounds like that could be pretty useful. How much for 2 bags of caltrops? And you'll have to excuse my friends. They're just in from the wild.
Be 20 GP for 2.
Come, friend, come down. We can come to a better arrangement than that. I didn't bother to haggle at all with the jewelry, and I feel like we're coming to some kind of economic, well, not say partnership, but we've definitely got a future together.
He
stomping around in
looks
the
at you and then he calls out, "Periwimple, get up here!" And a like younger man comes up to help him out, and he just kind of stands, muscles rippling under his tunic, kind of with his arms crossed, just kind of looking at you and pointing at the door.
Starts points between DT and
So
Periwimple.
I start counting out 20
very
gold. Like,
confused.
all right. I get it. Not a lot of commerce through here, so your margins don't really allow. That's fine, friend. I hold no grudges whatsoever.
Okay, he gives you the caltrops for the 20 gold.
Woo! And I'm not going to push my luck, and I get the hell out of there.
All right. And Periwimple shuts the door behind you.
Did you lose?
It's not really about winning and losing.
I don't
What kind of-
understand this game.
Join the club.
Well, you see, it's called D&D.
You roll math rocks, and things happen.
Okay, I'm glad, Aaron. I'm glad I'm not the only one with a good loud laugh when things are funny. Not just me. Not
All
just
right.
me.
Where's the party going?
I am going to give. I'm going to
Did
look
he-
at it.
Tell us the direction of the tavern, or just that there is one in town.
Well, he said down the road, but it's north.
Okay.
Like he pointed that direction. Forgot to say that. That would have been helpful, wouldn't it?
That's all right. So I would say if we don't have anywhere else to go, the tavern seems like a good place to check out.
At least I can get a damn drink if I can't have a bath.
Yeah, you have the tavern that you know about, and then the house with the crying.
Let's move to the tavern. That sounded a little bit more hospitable, I hope, than some of these other places. That shopkeep, I'll tell you. Shake my head and move on.
So this is the tavern. A single shaft of light thrusts illumination into the main square, its brightness looking like a solid pillar in the heavy fog. Above the gaping doorway, a sign hangs precariously askew, proclaiming this to be the Blood of the Vine Tavern.
Well, it's no unicorn's butt. It'll have to do. What? They sell you an entire butt of wine if you think you can drink it.
Oh, so yes. I stop right outside the
You
tavern.
get your name up on the wall.
Kind of pause for a second and kind of like ready myself to kind of go in and put on like my showmanship face and kind of give DT the little nod and be like, ready?
Are you going to argue until they bring out another man again?
That's not normally how it goes. But maybe.
Sometimes they bring out drinks instead.
Okay.
Please,
I would
God,
like
let them
to
have
on my
drinks.
heel and like,
I'm my own man this time. I don't want to be the super advanced automaton. Unless people
you two,
freak out,
don't
I
fight.
suppose.
you know what? I think these people have seen enough shit that'll be fine. Why don't you go in first? Set the tone, and then we'll go with that one where you go in first and just sort of stun them all.
That's how.
Like, you
oh,
know, we're the hood,
strategy.
like, walk into like the hood into the bar and like you flip the hood back and like that whole thing where you're just like all of a sudden
Dramatic reveal. I like it.
You put your big man out first, and that's how you're going to win. Okay.
That's how you win capitalism sometimes. It's true.
the order of operations is very important.
Just put the big man out first before the other guy gets theirs.
Just don't whip out your robot dick. No one
There's
needs to
a
see that.
variation on PEBCAC for this.
All right. So what's happening?
So I'm just gonna walk in the door and hold up my hand, and before I even notice who is in there, just say hello.
All right. So
see what happens.
So as you walk in, you see there's a bartender tending bar. There's three people sitting together near the door, and then there's someone sitting in the corner by himself. And as you walk in and say hi there, the three sitting by the door kind of look up at you and then look back to their drinks and continue their conversation. The bartender doesn't react, and the man in the corner looks at you with interest.
Well, hello.
Say we all file in for a show of strength.
Yeah. I wasn't pelted with arrows or had anything thrown at me, so I guess it's clear.
So are you guys joining them in?
Just sort of
I'm going
meander
in
up to the bar.
I'm going in, and I'm kind of moving up to the bar and realizing that I can't see the bartender when I get too close to the bar, so I kind of lean back against the bar and put my arm way up on a bar stool and look at
I will lift Buck onto a bar stool so he can see.
No,
you should remind everybody.
Everyone needs help sometimes, tiny man.
You are seeing the bar keep up close, and he is just mindlessly cleaning glasses one after another.
Hi, friend.
Yeah, does he look alert?
Now that I'm kind of taking as much stride as I can, and now that I'm kind of up in his face, being like, "Hi, friend, how are you?"
He doesn't respond, but he stops. He sets the glass down, and he points to a wine barrel behind him, and then kind of looks back to you.
I will need your largest vessel of wine immediately.
Okay, he grabs a pitcher, and fills it up, and asks for. He says, 1 silver.
Done and done.
He hands you the pitcher and then goes back to cleaning glasses.
Oh, sweet.
I don't
sweet
mean to
boy.
alarm anyone, but I think this guy's more of a robot than I am. Remember when I
Doesn't
said I
matter,
was
got
trying
wine.
out humor?
The wine is pretty good.
Oh, relief. I'm
Hey!
no taking any chances, no thinking, no, just drinking it. I'm just drinking it, and it's fucking good.
Are you drinking the whole pitcher?
It's my pitcher of wine. Don't you judge me.
All right, roll a Constitution check.
Overtime.
I will.
Right? You know.
I'm gonna slide the
I
barkeep.
will roll a
While she's
Constitution check,
chugging
my
this
good
picture,
sir.
I'm gonna slide the barkeep gold and be like, you know what? Let's do a round across the like for the house here on me. You can keep the change, sir.
No, no, no.
You down that fucking pitcher. You're fine.
Oh, yeah.
You're offering him a gold for how much? For how many drinks? Because that would be 10 pitchers.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking at our party, and I'm like,
It's like,
as
a round of drinks and keep them coming.
as Ivy is just chugging this pitcher, I'm like, eyes go a little bit wide, and I'm like, kind of counting in my head, like 1, 2. Look at DT.
Yeah.
3. Look at me and start to be like, kind of the fourth finger kind of comes up and sort of wavers a little bit. Look at the other table. Guy in the corner.
When you
I'm
look
like,
to DT, he points to the back of his hand, which has a big X on it.
Great actors.
The barkeep starts filling up pitchers and setting them on the bar counter. And once he has filled up 10, he takes your gold piece and goes back to cleaning glasses.
Well, sir, some of that was meant for you as a tip, but I thank you greatly. And I grab 2 of the pitchers and I walk over to the table with the 3 guys at it, and I put 2 pitchers down on the table.
They kind of look up, nod, and go back to their drinks. But the gentleman in the corner has been watching you the whole time, and he's gotten up from his table, and he walks over and he greets you, and he says, friends, you're just who I needed. Come over to my table. Join me.
Because we still have
2 more? I grabbed 2 more
pitchers
pitchers,
of
and I'm
wine?
like, well, that's fantastic. One of these is for you, and I basically force it into his hands.
He takes it and he says, I was going to offer to buy you some wine, but come join me, friend.
Wine for everyone, and I hand to DT. I'm like, basically like, here you go. I'm just like, play along.
Yeah, I hand it back to Starks and take another one off the counter. I just say, just hold it if you don't want to drink it. That's what I do.
I'm working on my second picture.
Roll another Constitution saving throw.
I've slowed down though.
I kind of look at this. I'm like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And I kind of go to the bartender. And I'm like,
God damn it! You are perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Whatever. It's my first nat 20.
Yeah, you're not drunk.
A picture of wine.
Yeah.
Ropes.
No,
Yeah.
you're slamming that back.
Yep.
Mama likes wine.
Are you going to join him at his table?
I will.
Yes. So I'm moving to the table, and I'm like, all right, I'm like, kind of give the bartender a bit of a sour look, because I'm like, ooh, this fucking works. And anyway, follow the guy back to the table with a bunch of booze in hand.
So he
Starks
says,
will follow and stand.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're standing around because Aaron just reminded me that she's 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm the
Fearbold
tallest one.
is taller than DT for sure.
oh god, I need to adjust the image then.
yeah, I didn't know this either.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Furbolg we have some really interesting like size
Yeah.
variation. in this
DT's like
party.
medium, like the large side of medium, so like a big dude.
Between 7 and 8.
Yeah.
7 and 8 for Fearbold, but only 240 to 300, so that's still kind of
Slender-ish.
for 7 and 8 feet tall.
I'm
Yeah,
the
when
largest
stacked
of the
backward
lesser,
more than that.
or the smallest of the lesser giants.
Yeah. And then, let me see, I think Warforged. I mean, they're both medium for stat reasons.
I think you're
Well,
like
'cause
6
you
feet.
take up 5 squares. Like you don't take up two
Yeah.
blocks. You're not 10 feet large.
Interesting.
But gnomes are tiny. That's hilarious.
Size. So this is your
They're
size
small,
is
but-
medium. Set your height and weight. Start rolling a size modifier.
Don't worry about it.
5 foot 10 inches plus 2d6 is what they recommend. Let's
So
see
5'10" plus 2d6. So that could be 5'10" to 6'10".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the table, he introduces himself as friends.
He's 12 feet tall because I rolled 7, right? 12 foot 10 inches.
Yeah. So he introduces himself as he says, "I'm Ismark the Lesser." Well, that's what villagers call me. I'm really just Ismark. Would you?
I know
you-
a thing or two about names and the power they have.
Is
What's-
there an Ismark the Greater?
No, they call me that because I always lived in my father's shadow. May he rest in peace.
See,
What's
your father
your
was
name?
a big man then. I'm Buck. Buck LeBuckle.
Sensing saving time, I say, they call me DT.
DT, what are you?
Oh, I'm not from around here.
Well, clearly
I
none of
actually
you are.
Do they, do Warforged have a common name, or is that is the common name?
That is the common name.
People would call them a Warforged?
In Eberron, people would call them Warforged, yes.
Yeah. So I would say it's like, I am a Warforged, a machine built in the likeness of humans to carry out the dirty work of humans, but way, way smarter than humans. That is a joke. Although I am smarter than some humans. But not many. I have an 8 in intelligence. But yeah,
So,
we are on an adventure.
That's just what I had hoped. Would you help protect my sister?
Mr. the Lesser, well, before we get into that, maybe you could give us some idea of what the hell is going on around here. We just came into town, and you're the first person that's, well, spoken more than one single kind word to us.
Your town is very inhospitable and strange.
Everyone in this town has just been beaten down by Strahd. We live in the shadow of his castle.
Who or what is Strahd?
Strahd rules over this land.
Now, what land exactly is this? Because I'm a little confused on that point, if I'm honest. It's been a long trip.
You're in Barovia. This is also the village of Barovia. It's very bad
Well, that's
naming.
convenient.
The land and the village is called Barovia.
Yes.
The man who
And
didn't
Strahd-
like the fire.
Strahd rules over Barovia, which includes this town, but also more than this town.
Yes.
What
Yes,
else is in
there's-
Barovia?
There's two other villages. There's Valaki, which is where I was going to ask if you could bring my sister for her own safety. And then there's another a village named Krazik.
And why does your sister need to go to Krasinski?
Valaki.
Valaki. Sorry, why does your sister need to go to Valaki?
Strahd is after her.
And
Oh,
Strahd
but-
can't get to Valaki somehow?
Valaki has is way more protected than this town. As you can see, this town is not in the best of shape. But
Have
but
anywhere to stay, perhaps.
but I think
with a
in
bath?
Valaki she would be safe from the reach of Strahd.
And
But it
you
sounds-
wouldn't be Strahd wouldn't just come after you like tomorrow.
Me personally, he's obsessed with my sister.
Okay.
Tell us more about him. Why is he so terrifying?
What does she think about him?
He's a vampire.
Oh. That's interesting.
I doubt that would bother Starts. She's like,
Starts just makes a face like, what even is that?
but still has the same question.
He's a curse placed on this land because of a forgotten sin of our ancestors.
Huh.
No offense, but that doesn't sound like someone we want to mess with for someone we just met in a bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not. There's no negative emotion attached to it. Just why? We just arrived. Why would we help you against apparently the lord of this land?
Well, if
Sounds
you
like
if you aren't
you wouldn't
willing
like
to
it.
help, then you are not the adventurers I thought you were, and I will just go back to my to being alone.
I take a big
Reverse
drag
psychology.
for a gnome off of one of the wines of jugs, and look at him with a little bit of a perplexed. Let's just kind of like go. Let's rewind slightly here, and revisit some basic assumptions. You assume we are adventurers here to help you. Not saying that's not true.
I did say
But-
we were on an adventure.
Well,
He is why
all
it
right.
is bad here, yes?
So it's quite true. We are adventurers out on an adventure. But the thing
Strahd is why it is bad here. Yes, he sends
Oh.
his minions to attack the village from time to time.
Now, do these minions sell pies?
What do they do?
Starts points very emphatically and like starts tapping her nose.
About
Do
the
his
pies.
minions sell pies?
Normally he sends wolves. If you're talking about the pies that are sold
he
in the
still have
village, while I don't partake of such things, I don't believe that Strahd has anything to do with that.
Okay, everybody's talking about these pies, and I pull this like now fairly like smushed up pie out. I'm like, everybody keeps talking about these pies. Is there an escape that they're not hooked on them, or whatever the hell you just said?
He said he doesn't he doesn't eat them.
You don't partake. That's what
Yeah.
you said. I'm like, I'm swaying a little bit because I'm kind of acting up, being like super drunk off of my off the wine, pretending that like my little goblin soul can't take it, and be like, so everybody's talking about these pies. You don't partake in them, and those guys they're trading kids for them, and that's pretty.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that about?
Do the other three patrons notice the pie?
They're paying attention to this conversation, but that's about it. They're not really reacting to anything.
Nobody's like tracking the pie like a fucking dog with their cheese.
Nope. He just kind of says that's kind of life in this village. It's awful. My father tried to put a stop to it, but it's hard in this village.
Okay, and so people are trading kids, and
We don't exactly have guards here. There's not a lot we can do.
why don't you have guards here?
They were either killed by Strahd's minions or they ran off.
I'm gonna push over a jug full of wine to him. I don't know if he's been drinking or not, but I'm gonna shove over another jug of wine, so he might have like two full ones in front of him. Doesn't really matter. My point is, I'm just like trying to like do this action. I lean over to DT. I'm like, do you mind if we have a moment?
Wait, you want me to leave, or do you want a moment with me and not him?
I kind of stand up and I kind of motion to DT and Ivy, and you look at Starts, and I'm like, shrug and wave at her too. And
Apparently,
kinda
we'll be
move.
right back, and just sort of turn around, turn away from him.
And I kind of talk to try to get the group with a little bit more privacy, and basically go, I don't like this town. This town sucks.
Why do you think I want to
Yes.
get to my sister out of here?
No, wait, you're not part of this. I think we were
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought he was getting you away from Ismark and wow. Okay.
Switch over to our huddle.
That was my question. Was did you want to word alone with
DT
Ismark, or a word
did that
alone with the rest?
as a prank thing, like just. And I'm like, I kind of like wave, like shake
no,
my
I
head.
genuinely
just,
didn't
like,
know it.
grab him and like pull him aside.
Right,
like,
okay,
no,
okay. Everyone
no.
pause for a second. Who is where? I'm so confused.
I am trying to take my group of people
Okay.
slightly away from the guy to be like to have a quick conversation.
Okay,
about,
fair
like,
enough. All right, so
How-
Ismark
how-
just
Yeah,
goes
it's-
back to his table. Fair, fine.
It's
All
way
right.
funnier if he just slips into the huddle and says,
He just puts his heads in. Hey guys, what's up?
Well, after DT's confusion, he probably was like, "Wait, what the hell's going on?" Followed us over.
We all
we all
get
get out of here. We're like,
It's a Monty Python bit.
kind of wave at him, be like, "Yep."
Or,
You know, to be honest,
Top
I don't know. So I kind of I talked to him. He said, "I don't really want to hit the road with the vampire chasing us when it's just about dark. That seems about the worst time to start off on some kind of expedition."
Maybe we could stay with this guy.
I mean, do you have a
knows
home
about it?
here in the village where we can rest for the evening and take your sister on a grand tour? Is it urgent that we leave this evening? Because I feel like we've wasted a lot of time and you've probably let us get a little too drunk for adventuring for that to be the case.
No,
And
it's
I kind of point over to use my pipe to point over at Ivy, who's I don't know what fucking picture she's on.
Great.
he says no. We can head to my father's mansion down south. We can stay there. That's where my sister Irina is anyway.
Do you mean the big mansion in the south of town with the gate hanging off?
Yes. I
better
told
days.
you. I told you it wasn't safe for my sister here.
Apparently, it's not safe.
And
Why don't
the guard,
you
the
go?
guard dogs that you've got helping?
The what?
The big guard dogs.
Are you talking about the wolf prince? Those are not my guard dogs. Those are Strahd's minions. They are trying to get at my sister.
Okay.
What is so important about
Why-
your sister to Strahd?
Why can't you take her?
Both good questions. Mine first.
I don't know. He desires her above all others, as far as anyone can tell. But I don't know why.
It's
Whack.
them titties, isn't it?
Query. Is it them titties?
That's my sister. And then
I turn around and
is
say,
that-
Ivy, this was very inappropriate.
he answers your other question, that he doesn't think that that he could get her there safely.
What does this guy look like? General description of guy.
He
human guy.
he has like longer blonde hair. He's younger, probably in his 20s. Human man.
Height, weight.
Human.
He's probably about, average. He's in general average. There's nothing that really jumps out.
How's he dressed? Shabbily, well, roguishly.
Well, for this town, like it's not, his clothes aren't falling apart or anything.
So his clothes don't reflect the state of the mansion.
Correct. Yes.
Perhaps they reflect the former state of the mansion, and we're looking at a rich man's son.
All right.
All right.
You know what?
He notices you kind of looking at his clothes, and he's like, "Yeah, I dress a little nicer than most in town. My father was the burgomaster."
Oh. Okay. Fantastic. What was your father's name again?
Calculated reaction.
Kolyan Indirovich.
Yeah. I think we have a letter from him.
I don't know if that's a good thing to have.
Is your father still alive?
No, he's not.
Starts looks
How long
very
has he been dead?
suspicious.
I don't know. Let me look.
Ooh, that's
Get out my
even worse.
calendar.
Did we have the
Just
letter
get out
from
my
the
daytimer.
burgomaster available to us as a note somewhere? Or?
We do on
Uh,
World Anvil.
On World Anvil.
We should.
I'm still getting an error message when I try to go there. World Anvil, I mean.
You have to sign in.
Fuck with it later.
I can pull it up in a
Okay.
second if you want.
Okay, I'll log in. Come on, Chrome.
This old pal is some real bullshit, by the way. All-in-one vape pens are shabby, in my experience. They don't have enough ohms for big cotton.
Cotton.
Cotton, crank it. Crank those
God, I know
ohms.
this is here. Where the fuck is it?
I don't remember what my password is. Fuck.
3
I better
days
put another
ago.
pitcher of wine in the fridge.
There you go. 3 days ago is when it happened.
Oh, so your father's only died recently.
Yes, his body's still in the mansion.
Oh,
Oh my.
I can't get
Sorry
anyone
to hear
from
that.
I can't get anyone from the village to help us bring him to the church.
But it's more
We'll
important.
help you.
But it's more important for you that your sister is
money.
saved.
Absolutely.
Is that why Strahd is so aggressively after your sister now that your father has died?
He's always been after my sister. He died from a heart attack during one of his attacks on our mansion.
Oh, that's a right shame.
Do people not like you?
Do people not like what?
She just flat out asks, do people not like you?
Nobody likes anyone in this town.
we've noticed a bit of hostility for sure, and price inflation. Say it like super, like it's
Like
dark
that's
magic.
the worst part. I found the letter if you guys want me to read it to you.
Yeah, I might need a refresher on
So it was held to thee of might and valor. I, the burgomaster of Barovia, send you honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years, this creature has drained the lifeblood of my people. How my dear Irina languishes and lies from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast. He has become too powerful to conquer. So I say to you, give us up for dead, and encircle this land with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon their power, that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves, and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life. Signed,
Hey,
Kolyan Indirovich.
So Irina is not your real sister, or your blood sister.
Yes, she's my adopted sister.
Was she adopted as a baby? Was a child stolen in a sack?
She was adopted as a baby, but I don't remember much because I was also very young.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
so quick question: is your sister
I guess
a vampire?
she wasn't a baby, but she was young.
go ahead.
Hey, so quick question: is your sister a vampire?
No, she's not a vampire.
Well, I look around to see if anyone would stop honesty and be like, we found a letter from the burgomaster, and it seems like it might be the same person you're talking about.
Do you show him the letter?
Yeah, I guess just sort of sheepishly be like, it sounds like she was bitten.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
I
she.
hand over the letter.
Yes, Strahd bit her.
Oh, where we're from, that makes you a vampire. I don't know. if
No, it
that's
doesn't.
correct, actually.
It absolutely does not.
Do
There's a
it.
there's a whole thing that you have to go through to be a vampire.
And D&D. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the process.
Well, we
And
knew that he was
D&D.
worried that she'd been bitten.
In Buffy, in everything, it's more than just being bitten.
Right. He got to do the ritual. So now he wants to finish it.
And what we do in Shadows.
Do we know that though? Is that common knowledge in the community? Like vampires are real, and this is how they turn you.
I think
I
Ivy would know that as a monster hunter.
yeah, Ivy would know that absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Unless she's had some of his blood in return, she won't be a vampire yet, merely suffering.
Yep.
That explains why he might want her so bad. Unfinished business.
I think it's more than that, but I just don't know what it is.
Well, so you got a dead dad and bit up sister in a mansion that you want us to stay the night in. You haven't mentioned the whole wolves attacking you in the night thing, but I assume that will happen tonight.
It's not every night, but it might. But we're usually safe inside the mansion.
Important question.
Nothing's gotten in yet.
Do you have a bathtub and hot water?
Yes, we have a bathtub, but no, we don't have hot water.
Crap, damn it.
We can heat water. It
Very
comes to
well.
that.
I'm in. I'll do
I
it for
look
a
at
bath.
DT, I'm like, doy, popping on my pipe, like we don't know how to blow things. I mean, heat water.
Sorry,
think I'm
are you guys...
All right, sir. Mr. the Lesser. We accept your deal. As far as it stands, we will come to your manor and meet your sister, and we will discuss the voyage ahead.
Hey, so
Please,
just
lead the way.
real quick, I would like to draw your attention to this line here, and I point to the letter about the untold riches and such in Barovia. Since we're already here,
Starts just
maybe,
loses her mind laughing out of nowhere. She has just had a realization.
About riches?
His dead dad is funny.
Two pitchers of wine, Ivy also finds that funny.
Oh yeah, she's probably like scooping up pictures on the way out.
Mm.
And she's
Yup.
still incredibly sober because she rolled a
Yup.
nat 20.
We fucking rolled a nat 20 of drinking.
that's so great.
That's going to be the only one of the entire campaign.
Yeah. For my entire
what was
life.
your question again?
Who had a question?
Somebody-
I had been asking him. I pointed to the letter and be like, "So
Oh,
there's
that's
the whole
right,
thing
yeah.
in here about riches. What's since we're here before, you know, the walls kind of been up and down and so on. Maybe we can get some of those."
I'm sure Strahd has tons of riches in his castle.
But you don't have any riches in your mansion. That's kind of
Have you seen the
all I'm saying
town?
was the burgomaster was not specific as to the quantity and location of these riches, merely that there were a lot of them for us.
I think it would
And
be
I
safe.
puff on my pipe. I'm like,
If you help my sister, you're welcome to anything in the mansion, but we don't have much.
puff, puff, puff. All right, well, the Strahd guy sounds like kind of turd. So,
Valaki is a much nicer and well-off town than this one.
No offense, but that wouldn't take much.
Which is closer to Strahd's castle?
Our village.
Yeah, can we
The-
Going
Vol-
away
like,
from
up on a
monsters.
hill or anything?
So he actually he says if you join me at the mansion, I have a map of all of Barovia that I can give you.
fantastic. You know what? This inn does not seem particularly hospitable, despite the free-flowing drinks. And Buck kind of looks around and is like a little upset that nobody's like celebrating him over this. Brings up, despite the free-flowing drinks, I look sort of over
And
at the table.
I sort of do like a sad clap. Woo! Thanks,
I
mister.
appreciate you.
I just spur them on.
Let's get out of this. Let's get out of here and see what else is going on in your manor. How's your sister doing?
Okay.
I need to stop by that shameful merchant's on the way to purchase soap. I will have a bath, so help me God.
As you say that, he says, we have soap in the mansion, just not hot water.
Fucking A.
So are you guys going to the mansion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Accompany him.
All right. So as you walk up to the mansion, Ismark walks up and knocks on the door, and he says, "Sister, it's me. I've brought friends." And she, you can hear like bars being moved and stuff behind the door, and she opens it. And I assume you guys are walking in.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. The interior of the mansion is well furnished, yet the fixtures show signs of great wear. Noticeable oddities are the boarded up windows and the presence of holy symbols in every room.
Like peering with interest.
You can see in a side room through the door a simple wooden coffin with wilting flowers and a faint odor of decay.
Hey everyone, it's a dead person.
And in the middle of the room, Ismark gives his sister a hug. Irina, she has auburn hair. She's probably about 5'2". She's wearing some light armor with red around it. God, I wish I could just drag a picture in to show you. I'll show you what she looks like later.
Can you do that now?
I'm going to offer her some of my pitcher of wine. She sounds like she needs a drink.
Let me see if I can do that. She gladly takes it. And give me a second as my computer decides to actually work. How did I put this? I drag my her token in. Show you what that looks like. Will this work? Nope, didn't work. Let me see if I can just add it as an image here. Okay. Can you see her?
Oh, neat. Yeah.
All right. So that is Irina. Lost my sheet. Okay. So she asks you, are you here to help bring my father to the church?
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
we can help with that, but that's not why your brother contacted us.
She gives a look to Ismark and basically and says, "Are you trying to find people to get me out of town again?"
Yes.
And
Just cheerfully comes up there.
and she just sighs and she says, "I'm not leaving until father's taken care of."
Is that your father in the other room?
Sadly, yes. This town is filled with people who just are too scared to leave their homes. They won't even help us. And
If it's simply a burial detail, that's something with which I am unfortunately rather familiar.
that's
we
all
can-
it is. We just want to bring him to the church and the cemetery.
I turn to the group and I say, "We can help, right?"
I want to be the first person we buried, DD.
That's true, and most of them were dead.
What?
If the graveyard is past the tavern, we can get more wine.
Maybe some of them turned out to be not dead. Don't worry.
Is that something you wanted to do tonight? Did you want to wait till morning?
I think we
Seems
should probably wait till morning. I don't like going. This town going out at night seems like bad idea.
Is
My
there
current
anything
level
we
of
can do to
stake is
help?
disrespectful.
It should be safe enough to take him now if you want, but we can wait until morning. It's waited this long. We just appreciate the help.
I think, based on what your brother has told us, we could lend a hand around the house, fortifying it for the evening, and then set out in the morning. Because I noticed the broken gate. I was wondering if I could do stuff with mending, or between the artificer and the forge cleric, we could go around and like fix the fences and mend the barricades and stuff, and kind of reinforce the house as a like payment for staying over. You know,
Some real Mary Poppins ass shit.
just to be nice.
And if you have time, Buck, perhaps you could create some silver arrows with that cutlery you stole from the Durst Manor. Or at least some silver arrowheads, now that we know what we're facing.
Just remember that I told you that earlier.
Pew pew, motherfucker.
So I'm gonna ask. So real quick here, you say you don't partake in the whole pastry business, and I hold up this pastry again to see whether or not Irina's interested in it. But at this point, it's pretty much just like a mass of like meat and veg and
Grossness.
pastry. It's just like a handful of like. Pull this out. Look at these pastries. I'm really, really curious about these pastries and the lady that makes them and the children that she takes. She takes children. I feel like that hasn't really been addressed enough, and you kind of shied away from that point by just talking about the pastries. But I'm not really interested in the pastries. I'm like waving this thing around like a fucking angry little
crumbles
madman.
everywhere.
Small crimes. It's drugs.
But what about the children? And I spiked the pastry on the ground.
Irina just says it's awful, but there's no one to stop. There's no one to stop it.
You are not a child.
Who is
Just
that
small.
directed to? To Buck?
Yes.
You're not a child, just small. So why be so angry about it?
She
I mean,
says,
taking children.
"Oh yeah, was that to Buck?" All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, she just says that there's no one to take care of it, and most of the town is so scared of just leaving their home that everyone just lets whatever happen at this point.
That's no way to live.
Do you know who's in charge of it? Is it Strahd?
Strahd make everything bad, to quote our friend here. Starts.
In I think you could say that in a roundabout way. It's all Strahd. Everything wrong with this land is Strahd.
Non-roundabout way. How about in a direct way?
We don't know where she comes from. She comes into town and peddles her pastries and occasionally takes a child. And most of the time we don't even know about it until after the fact.
Here's the thing about that. And I puff my pipe. We could probably follow her back to where she came from.
I
We could
think
probably find out what she's doing with those kids there.
my main priority is saving my sister.
Yeah, I got that. You really don't really care that much about, smaller children, just the one child. And
Well,
the dad.
I also think if my sister was no longer in town, Strahd would stop attacking.
Stop
You think he
attacking
attacks
you.
the whole town just for her?
Yes.
Well,
Turns to Irina. Do you talk to him?
To Strahd?
Yes.
Oh, to Irina, right?
Yeah, she's asking Irina that.
I have before. I've told him to leave me alone. He doesn't. He's always nice, but
Why does he like you so much?
I don't know.
Why do you think he's nice?
He's pleasant when he talks. He's not a nice person, obviously. And she just kind of points around gestures around. But he's very cordial when he speaks to me.
I see.
It's strange.
So he has manners, but he's an asshole.
Yes.
no
That's a little
offense,
bit.
but if you've been within distance of talking to him, why didn't he snatch you and run away? If he
She
wants
says
you so bad.
she doesn't know, but she tilts her head and shows a couple of bite marks.
Tell us about the biting.
She just looks confused. What? What do you mean? He
How did he bite you?
grabbed me and bit me.
Rude.
Where were you? I thought this place was safe.
I wasn't inside the home at the time. That's why I boarded myself in here.
All right.
Okay.
We're victim blaming.
How are you feeling since the bite?
It's been a bit since that happened. I'm fine. I've recovered.
This is why you should respect quarantine.
Wexia.
No cravings, red meat, human flesh.
No,
Blood
none,
of any
none at
kind.
all. None at all.
Well, this, you know what? I think our best course of action is we board up this place best we can, give it a little dipsy doodle do over. Come morning, we take your old dead dad here to the church, put him in the ground, and then get you off to this other town.
It's my understanding that Irina didn't really like the idea of
She won't leave until her father's taken care
just
of.
until that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Ismark grabs your hand and shakes it and says, that would be great. I really appreciate everything that you're doing.
I wrench my hand back and go, whoa, social distancing.
God damn it. I quit.
I wrench my hand back and be like, we don't have a deal until you tell me what we're getting.
I hate to be that guy, but it is true. We don't have a lot of provisions. We were sort of brought here against our will.
And that
So-
store is fucking expensive.
Anything you have to help in our quest would be appreciated.
You have some sway on local merchants. Can you get him to give us a better bargain than charging us exorbitant amounts?
I don't have sway over anyone in town. They don't look to me as they did my father. You can have anything in the house.
Do they
but
know your father's dead?
Yes, they do.
Damn it. Well, Buck, DT, we're not going to be able to pull that one off then.
I don't think it worked particularly well last time.
Yeah, we did have to run pretty far.
It's not that they bought it, more that they were too disgusted to say anything.
They got so angry afterwards. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. All right, well, we'll just bury him.
But first, a bath.
Yeah,
I have a
so
dead baby on me.
Yeah, so let's... I was going to use mending and whatever forge stuff I can to help out, fix broken chains and various, like, repairs around the perimeter.
okay.
Fix the gate and stuff.
I'll let you guys do all that.
I'm going to contemplate my glowing, my strings and be like, meh. Bet that witch had some cool stuff.
While everybody's doing that shit, I'm going to go ahead and cast Locate Animals or Plants and see if I can figure out where the nearest wolves are.
How does that work?
Describe or name a specific kind of beast or plant. Concentrating on the voice of nature in your surroundings, you learn the direction and distance of the closest creature or plant of that kind within 5 miles if any are present. So I can basically...
Oh, within
Think
5
about it.
miles?
Yeah.
All right, let me look at the map real quick. Need to figure out scale. Okay. To the northeast of where you are, you can sense some wolves outside of the village.
Okay.
I don't think I have these spells yet.
All right, I'm going to try to rest properly this evening after doing a little bit of defenses because I did not get a full good snoozing in last time and did not, as it were, get my spell slots back.
I'm just gonna go take a bath and wash off the dead baby goo. Since you have soap. I'll do it in cold water.
Oh
but-
god, I didn't even think about it. You're still covered in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been raining.
I got Waltered That's what I got for rescuing somebody. I got Waltered. And I stink. That's not respectful to the dead if we're gonna go bury a guy.
I could use heat metal to like heat a metal pot up for bathwater.
Absolutely.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, I just unlocked that at second level, and I'm about to take a long rest. So I
I've
may as
got
well.
I've got
So, how
Firebolt
much
and
is that?
Shocking Grasp. I could probably just use like not a spell slot.
Truly, you are a doctor of the soul.
I mean, I would let
Cause the
you.
object to glow
You
red
don't have
hot.
to
Jesus,
burn
that might be too much.
anything. I'll just let you guys figure out. You light a fire or something. That's fine. Yeah, you don't need to burn
We have
anything.
the ability to heat water. I think.
Yeah,
is what-
yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
So
Hooray.
while all this is going on,
Everybody
I'm going to
scrub
point
us.
off in the direction that I've figured out that the wolves are. Is the castle that way?
I believe it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
said you,
you-
had
you-
a map you could show us.
There is. I'll have to pull you all over to it. So on the map, you can see where the castle is. In fact, I'll just real quick.
If we're not going to be, we don't need to navigate inside the manor house.
No, but the church you will. So, so there's the map.
Mount Khakis,
Don't know why the music stopped.
Lake Zarevich.
And
the
Ismark points right here, says that that's the castle.
Does that feel like where the wolves are?
No, so you have a 5 mile
Yeah.
limit, and that is farther than 5. Or no, actually that is 5 miles?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it's closer than 5 miles away.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see my marker.
Yeah.
And that's 5 miles. Over to the Sayre Falls about.
Yep.
In
And you said
radius.
they're northeast?
Yeah, northeast.
Okay, so they're off in Svalich Woods.
Yep.
Svalich Woods north. Some below us too.
All right, I'm gonna bring you guys back to the village.
All right.
You should actually be able to access the map pretty much all the time. I think I set it up so everybody can see it. No, I did not. Now you can get to it at any time.
Oh, there's a button that says Map of Barovia.
Yep.
Oh. Map.
Cool.
So okay, so the night you set everything up, some of you take baths.
I was gonna give the thing that I made to start the fire as well. When we're settled in a little bit, I show up and I've got the mess kit box from the old place. I'm like, here, since there wasn't anything good in the store, I figured now would be a good time for you to have this. And I give it to her, and it's little figurines of everyone in the party that I made out of scrap metal, which is one of the forge adept things that I can do. And I just say, because you had to burn all of your dolls, I figured you might want some new ones. This one's me, and it's like a little. It's got like I melted a penny and a nickel and some other like an old knife together, but they're pretty accurate, like little GI Joe style action figures with a couple of different materials. And I'm just
Taken and immediately hidden.
like secrets about the person somewhere. Like there you go.
Doctor, are you a romantic?
No, I just felt bad. I know she had. I'm still trying to figure out her whole deal. Like, she seems to like dolls, so I kept that in mind. And she seems sad that she had to burn those other ones, but not really? I don't know. Maybe there'll be magic foci someday. Focuses?
Maybe the joy of the burning outweighed the loss of the dolls.
I
Fire.
I'm paying a little bit of attention to this, and I look at starts, and I kind of mime pulling a string again, and shrug at her.
There's kind of a half twisted mouth, kind of a yeah, and just
And
kind of a nod.
I kind of look at DT and like kind of hold my hand out like for the hopefully for the figurine of DT.
I will hand it over.
And I definitely put a little string on it that when you pull says, I have prepared an audio-visual presentation.
That's all of your
tinkering.
slots for tinkering, isn't it?
And that's
We'll
what we
do a long
married you
rest.
to.
Oh, comedy gold.
You know, everyone should have a doll they can be proud of.
These are very much stuffed into whatever hidey spots she can at this point.
I like the idea that they're just in a literal lunchbox, just like a square tin with a latch on it. Just rattling around somewhere. Use it as a distraction tool somewhere, throw it into a room and it will rattle around.
Okay,
Alright.
so that's anything else going on through the night from you guys?
Just the standard healing, preparing.
Okay.
Oh, does anybody have, is it Move Earth? There's like a cantrip for digging? Because I don't.
No.
Oh yeah,
and
and
be asked to dig a grave.
I am able to have 3 items imbued. So I have the thread on the back of the witch's wagon right now, and the second doll because the first doll burned up. But the way it works is every time if I do it again, the oldest one ceases to be magical. It doesn't act as a hard stop. I can just make a new one, and eventually, if I did that for too long, this little doll would stop working.
I missed that whole thing.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, I was.
Well,
just
you're the
saying
one who
way
needs to know.
The way the magical infusions work is that I can have 3 of them up at a time right now, and that if I were to make a 4th one, the first one would stop to be magical.
Okay.
Could we ask Irina if a death on a pyre, a burning death, would be acceptable for her father?
We prefer to inter him in the cemetery.
Very well.
Not worried about zombies, huh? And I puff on my pipe a little bit. You'd think with all the vampires, puff, puff.
Irina and Ismark both look at you and say, no, we are very worried about zombies.
Yeah. You know what? I can see that here. Puff, puff.
Shame I don't have more second level spells.
He could return faster.
Return.
We'll
I think you have
to
a different meaning of the word return than most people do in this circumstance.
do things the old-fashioned way. I have 50 feet of rope, and Buck can cast. What is it? Nope, not Buck. Sorry. DT can cast. Who had the feather one?
I don't think I do.
I have
Featherfall?
mage hand.
So as you guys are sleeping,
Featherfall.
resting around, exactly at midnight, you're all woken. Ismark and Irina are not, because they are used to this, but you are woken from a green light, kind of shining through the slats of the boarded up house.
What the fuck is this? And so kind of groggily go to the window and like close one eye to sort of maybe try and preserve my night vision a little bit and peek out.
Okay, you see wavering images of doting women toting great swords, woodwise men with slender bows, dwarves with glittering axes, and archaically dressed mages with beards and strange pointed hats. All of these are marching from the direction from the north, so they're coming from up here. But you're seeing them as they've reached about here. And they march down to here and then head out of town this way.
Huh.
The same route that the pie seller / child thief took.
That's some shit.
Can you give me an insight check, Buck?
I can.
very slowly.
That's D&D Beyond's character sheet, the wrong one.
I mean, you can tell me what you rolled. Okay, with that, you can tell that these are ghostly, or they're apparitions of adventurers, and they seem to just keep coming from the direction of the northern direction and heading out of town.
Hey, it looks like a parade of spirits.
I think these are fellow adventurers who might have tried this thing before. Hey, might have tried this thing before, and not been very successful at it.
Or bad.
I don't think it's a good sign to see scores of people failing what you're being asked to do.
Ismark has awoken with you guys talking, and he says,
"Hey, Izzy."
He can see the light, and he knows that he pretty much can suss out what you're about to ask, and he says, "We call it the March of the Dead." They are
Every night?
Every night.
How long have you been trying to get your sister out of here, Izzy?
This has been going on longer than my sister's been alive. We've known this is part of the story of Barovia. Every night at midnight, fallen adventurers march from the cemetery to Strahd's castle.
Do you know what they do when they get there?
No one's followed them that far. That would be suicide.
Now, how long have you been killing adventurers in this town? Asking adventurers to come work for you.
You're the first group I've seen. This town's been here for a long time. It has not always been this way.
So your dead dad there, you never tried to reach out to adventurers before this letter?
I mean, if you read the letter, it tells adventurers not to come here.
I see that, yes. Great point. You've got me there. Puff, puff, puff.
My father didn't want anyone else to suffer.
Now, so...
I don't... Well, you found the letter here, correct?
That's right.
I don't know if we've ever been able to get any messages out.
Would you like us to encircle it in holy symbols and let everyone die, like he said?
I'm a little more selfish than my father. I just want my sister safe.
Do you recognize these guys? Are they the same guys marching every night?
Yeah, it's the same ghosts every night. We've tried to talk to them. We've tried to interact with them, and they don't respond.
Oh, I see. Well,
Are their numbers growing, or do they stay the same?
It lasts the same every night, as long as I've been around.
No one's counting anymore because everyone's bored with it by now.
And this march probably takes about half an hour to for them to completely leave the town.
Can we estimate, like, is it 100 or 1,000 or... I don't even know.
They're kind of clumped up together. It would be very hard to estimate. I mean, they're ghosts, so...
While Disneyland's light show parade is going on, I'm going to check for wolves again.
Okay.
Are they still the same distance away?
I mean, they've moved, but not necessarily closer. They're just roaming the woods.
Okay.
all right. Well,
So
that's pretty messed up. I'm gonna be honest.
No, this isn't
Mark-
a minion attack. This isn't Strahd. This is just the town. Do we have anything else to worry about tonight?
I assume you're still in the house.
Yeah, I don't know why this gets
I'm not getting out.
Yeah. So the rest of the night is uneventful.
Cool.
Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off, Bringer. We're going to ask something about Izzy while he's up. Now I want to call.
No. Basically, just ask. Yeah, I was going to ask if there's more like other events in the evening than
You got that. So.
Yeah, no. Ismark says that that's, aside from the occasional attacks, that's the only thing that happens. But the attacks are somewhat recent since Irina grew of age.
All right. Let's get back to bed. We've got a busy day of corpse disposal.
Is Arena awake?
Yes, she's stirred.
Is she on any birth control? We're gonna have to ask this question because we need to be aware of things bleeding and attracting attention.
No, she would. There's not a thing.
Magic.
Girl.
Magic birth control.
Yeah. All right. So, let's say it's morning. What do you guys want to do?
Have a coffee, read the paper. You know.
Drag a body into the street and up to the church.
I'm gonna make sure
it's in a coffin, so you can coffin dance your way there.
That's true.
So before
way.
we get started and embark towards said church, I am gonna go ahead and use Pass Without Trace, which basically masks myself and anybody I choose within 30 feet. We all have a plus 10 bonus to Dex stealth checks
Okay.
and can't be tracked except by magical me.
Okay.
Oh yeah. To stealthily carry a casket through the streets.
And I that to the church.
Yeah. Do you guys have a wagon we could use?
Ismark says yes, and it's around back, and he leaves the house and grabs it, and it's like a hand cart type of thing. And brings it around.
Bring out to Dad.
Well, shit. It might be starts the fire. It's turn.
Buck, do you have any abilities to create tiny little contraptions?
I mean, obviously.
I mean, are you able to do that now? Do you need a rest?
What are you after?
Bitch needs an IUD.
Look, I'll allow a
Can't
lot of
just
Calvin
go-
Ball in this game, but
Can't just go around bleeding whenever you like, lady. That's just right up
it's not like there's
alley.
sharks in the water. It's not.
That's how you get vampire.
It's not.
Haven't you ever read Anne Rice?
No.
Well, this is why I'm here.
She nasty.
This is why I know
She
things.
nasty.
You
Yeah.
know, you got to be practical. I'm a practical lady who can drink a lot of wine.
All right. Let's move on from the IED.
Not the IED.
Not the IUD, but the IED.
No, I can
I
definitely
mean,
make an
Buck can do both.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
That is Buck's wheelhouse. For
Right
sure.
as the E came out of my mouth, I was like, no, that's not the right thing.
I call them that all the time. I mean, as frequently as they come up in conversation.
All right, so are you guys heading to the church?
Yeah, let's let's throw this
before-
body on the cart and get her in the ground. I mean, all
Yeah,
due
before
respect
we
to your
go-
father.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna turn to them and say, actually, I do have some respect for your father. So I go and put my hands on the coffin and I cast Gentle Repose. It's a sort of a basic prayer, I imagine, and it touch a corpse or other remains. I guess I would have to open it and touch his hand briefly, but for 10 days he is protected from decay and can't become undead. And I let them know, this should help prevent, like we were talking about, prevent the zombies.
They thank you.
Yeah, it's what we do. And then I guess haul him, start walking the cart through the streets, unless there's a way to go that doesn't take us through the town.
No, so Ismark kind of guides you, and you guys head up this way to the church, which is right here.
All the way up there.
Yep.
Where's my man's? I'm talking. Oh yeah,
All
the
right.
church makes sense with the graveyard behind it.
All right. And this is what the church looks like. If
Church
it's
size.
still-
I don't have
Right.
visions,
God damn it.
tokens of-
God damn it. Hold on.
Someone light a candle.
There we go.
Ooh.
Standard spooky church. God, the claw mark.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you've been seeing everywhere. It's
This town is
that loveliness.
getting scratched.
Worst graffiti ever.
All right, so you are at the church, which... Why does the music keep turning off? We don't need the crying. Okay, and... Hold on. This is not just you guys. You're with Ismark and Irina.
Hey, Ismark, where's your base? Nerd. Nice no circle.
Nice, no circle, no circle.
No.
Okay,
how do
so
they spin so gradually?
I'm using a mouse wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, you're at the church. I don't have a token for the coffin, so just assume you're bringing the coffin.
All right, I cracked the door open, and I'm going to step inside.
Oh, jeez. I was going to ask, do we need to go
Um,
in, or are we bringing him around back to be buried?
Ismark says we should go in and talk to the priest.
Okay, I didn't know there was a... I know this was an active church.
As you open the doors, you notice that they have claw marks on them.
God damn, more claw marks.
Yep, claw marks everywhere. The doors open to reveal a 10-foot wide, 20-foot long hall leading to a brightly lit chapel. The hall is unlit and reeks of mildew. 4 doors, 2 on each side of the hall, lead to adjacent chambers. You can see the chapel is strewn with debris, and you hear a soft voice from within reciting a prayer. Suddenly, the prayer is blotted out by an inhuman scream that rises up from beneath the wooden floor.
What the hell was that? Do I recognize? Like, is it actually an inhuman scream or just a real scream? Like, scream.
It's a scream.
Blood curdling.
Yeah.
If I had blood, it'd be curdled.
I'm gonna move north down the hallway. Wow, this church looks fucked up.
Yeah, I look back to Ismark and I say, is this how it always looks?
We have not been in here in some time. Maybe we should just go to the graveyard.
I agree.
Probably a
What
good
was that
idea.
scream?
We've all been sort of walking in anyway.
So
We're just sort of carefully picking our way through. And
So the chapel is in shambles with overturned and broken pews littering the dusty floor. Dozens of candles mounted in candlesticks and candelabras light every dusty corner in a fervent attempt to rid the chapel of shadows. At the far end of the church sits a claw-scarred altar, behind which kneels a priest in soiled vestments. Next to him hangs a long, thick rope that stretches up into the bell tower. From beneath the chapel floor, you hear a young man's voice cry out, "Father, I'm starving!" So what's up?
Wave at him. There you go. Hello. What's going on?
I'm praying for my son.
Really?
Sort of-
Sounds like kind of hungry.
yeah, we're just
Sometimes
walk up.
food is. And I kind of move up to the altar. I'm like, sometimes food is more effective than prayer.
He says, he looks at you and he says, my son is not what you think. He's no longer my son, but I can't bring myself to kill him.
He's a vampire, isn't he?
Do you say that?
Yes.
He says, yeah, a little more than a year ago, my son Doru and several other villagers stormed the castle in revolt. They were lured there by a wizard in black robes who came to Barovia from a faraway land. The wizard died, and so did Doru, but he returned to the church as a vampire. But I was able to trap him in the Undercroft.
Do you think
That's
it's fine
messed
to
up.
keep him alive and tortured?
I can't kill him. I don't torture him. I can't kill him, and I can't bring him food. That would be awful.
It's not that hard.
It
Will
seems like you don't
he-
need to stand above him and listen to his cries of despair.
Will he take animal blood?
I stay here and pray for him.
How's that working?
Now, Buck. You know the gods are real. We've been
Will
over
he?
this.
Will he take animal
but
blood?
they're jerks, DT.
I don't know if he'll take. I don't know.
Have you tried?
I don't want to let him out. What if he
Probably
gets into
reason.
town?
So you will keep him suffering. Shame on you.
What else am I to do? What if he gets out in the town?
Then kill him and stop being a coward. People are the worst.
Hey, vampire guy down there. What's your story?
Can he hear us?
I mean, I can hear him crying as I'm yelling down.
He just screams out that he's starving over and over.
Yeah, but okay, shut up for a second. I get it. You're hungry. We've established that. We could probably help you. Maybe. What's your deal?
Where
He-
is your pie?
He just cries
Give him the
out.
pie.
He
Give him the pie. It's got meat. No blood though.
he doesn't seem to really be all there.
I kind of like scrape out the remnants of the container that had the pie. At this point, it's like got like carpet fibers and shit in it because I threw it on the ground at one point.
I threw it on the ground.
Like,
My
scrape
dad's
it
not
out,
a
like,
pie.
Let it shake it in like whatever crevice I can find that like this guy's like underneath or hiding behind.
Is there any
I mean-
opening into the pit?
Not
he's
from
being kept?
not that you can see.
All right, well, I
These are
hold
all
up
too
I hold
delicious.
up my container full of bedraggled pie, stick my hand in it again, be like, everybody wants these pastries. Maybe you're something like a pastry.
I don't think I can paste it.
The priest just kind of sobs.
Would you like a pastry?
I'll tell the priest either you kill him or we
It's
do.
free.
No,
I know
you
people
mustn't.
charge a lot for these, but I don't care. You can have the pie. Somebody, please take this pie.
God.
You should have given the pie to the kid. He needed it.
We should have given the pie. Damn it.
This is what I could find. My exhaustive research on smashed meat pies.
Yes, that's exactly it's that.
It's just
Like it's a handful of that.
horrible mound. Anybody want this? Did he say you mustn't? Like he recognized the pie? What's the deal with the pies?
No, he said you mustn't kill his son.
Oh well.
You can have a pie, right?
You mustn't give him the pie, it'll kill him.
He's a vampire. He doesn't want a pie.
Everybody wants these pies. You want the pie.
I like it because your booming voice got picked up by the so all of a sudden it's just like the voice of God.
Irina and Ismark have a side conversation of maybe this isn't the right group to help us.
I look over at them and I'm like, I know what you're thinking, but if it helps, we would have to be crazy to want to stick around in this town and help you for one more goddamn second than we have to. So it's probably for the best.
Ismark says fair enough.
All right.
All right, so what are you guys doing? Because
Very tickled by it.
You know what? Let's go put this guy. Let's go bury your father with respect.
Yeah, well, that's.
And I
Ismark,
cut
did you
myself
need
off.
this
I'm like,
piece?
I look at DT. I'm like, yeah, see, I got it still.
Very tactful.
yeah, so he says, yeah, can you help? I would be definitely willing to help with the burial, but I need your help.
With the son.
with the burial.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. We're gonna help
All
with
right.
that anyway.
Okay. So are you going back outside to the cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna go to
don't.
the cemetery gates.
All right. Don't actually.
This really means changes to Pantera.
I know what you're doing. Okay, fence of wrought iron with a rusty gate encloses a rectangular plot of land behind the dilapidated church. Tightly packed gravestones shrouded by fog bear the names of souls long past. All seem quiet.
All right. I'm gonna be kind of the last person through the gate, because I'm too little to really help, gnome handle the big old body. So as everybody kind of goes through the gate, I'm gonna close the gate behind everybody, and I will take a small piece of thread and drape it over the gate so that when it is opened, the thread will fall and start screaming, "Whoop, whoop, whoop."
Like, not a whooping noise, but just you saying whoop very loudly.
Yeah.
I like it.
Um,
Very good.
Jesus Christ. So during the burial, the priest offers prayers to the morning lord in exchange for Kolyan and Darovich's deliverance from Barovia. As you lower the coffin into the ground, Donna, the priest, suggests that Irina be taken as far from the castle as possible, and he suggests that you take her to the Abbey of Saint Markovia in Krzik. If you
the
can't
other
do
thing.
that, the town of Valaki.
Say, so I kind of like sidle up to the priest and be like, "So the brother wants her to go to Valaki. You think she should go to the Abbey? What's the difference?
The
Why
Abbey
why is
is
one better?"
the Abbey is in the town of Krzik, which is farther away from the castle, and the farther away from Strahd, the better.
All right. So what if we just take her to Markovia, Jericho, whatever the hell that place is, and
Suvlaki.
There's
Chime in.
there's Valaki and Krzik. The Abbey of Saint Markovia, I think, is what you were going with.
yes. So we take her to
I still got the gross pie.
To the Abbey.
we'll take her to the close town. On the way to the Abbey, and we can assess what the hell's. Because honestly, I'm talking to the priest. I'm like, between you and me, I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
As you are having this conversation, you see on the edge of the graveyard a black coach pulls up, and out steps the man that you saw earlier at in front of the house, Durst
Do we
Manor.
have Dad in the ground yet? How's that?
Yeah,
burial going?
he's in the ground.
So he's been fully interred.
Yes, and
All right. So the only turd here then is Strahd. Bam.
the man walks up. Irina kind of recoils and and her brother stands in front of him. He walks up to the gravesite.
So you open the gate.
He just walked, like he came out from up here. So he just came in from that side.
I have a terrible question.
Damn, like, holy crap.
What you got?
How tall is Strahd?
Or the man. We don't know. It's
The man.
He's like 6'2", something like that.
Excellent.
Man, I'm very concerned that you keep asking how tall everyone is.
Because does she
I'm 8
tower
feet
over
tall.
there?
Yeah.
Now that we've remembered that she's 8
I
feet
want
tall.
if she wants to loom, I feel that's her right.
He walks up to the grave and bows his head to pay his respects to the burgomaster.
I look to Izek and say, "Is this a friend of yours?"
That's Strahd. As they kind of walk back, they're kind of paying attention to him as they're walking back.
Are we
Well, this guy
still standing
kinda-
at the gravesite?
you're a little bit further away than Strahd is, but they are backing away from him. I don't know what you guys are doing, but Strahd is just kind of bowing his head.
I'm gonna step up to Strahd with a pipe in one hand. With my pipe in one hand, I'm gonna take a puff of my pipe and I'm gonna kind of stand beside him for a moment.
Get off from that pie.
I don't feel the funeral of the Burger Man is an appropriate time to offer a pie.
It was a meat pie. It was full of burger, I think.
That's the secret.
Take the burger. Hello, Strahd. May I offer you a smashed up meat pie in these trying times?
Can I offer you a pie in these trying times?
Oh my god.
There was a video, a YouTube guy talking about the best use of prestidigitation. It says you can make small, harmless objects that still impact, and he just talks about prestidigitating eggs and just pelting people with eggs over and over, like an infinite number of magical eggs just pelting you and disappearing. Like a great way to harass people.
My glass.
So you could offer people a magic egg in these trying times.
Where did I put my glass?
All right, what are you doing with Strahd?
So I'm standing beside him, being all mournful and serious. I'm not at all partaking in these ridiculous shenanigans. And then say, I don't think we've been formally introduced. I'm Buck Buckleson. Wait, no, I'm Buck Buckleson.
You got a fake name to make sure he can't track you.
You're Buckleson now, son.
I give him my fake name. I'm Buck Buckleson.
As you say that, he looks at you, he arches an eyebrow, and he says, "Don't you mean Buck le Buckle?"
Does he shake my hand? Like, I've got my hand outstretched.
He shakes your hand.
Gosh.
Okay.
But he does correct your last name.
So and so I'm like Count von Strahd, I assume. And while I have his hand and I puff in my pipe before I say anything, I am going to imbue one magical thread in his sleeve with a sound. And then that's it. No, that's all I'm doing. The sound hasn't happened yet. The trigger hasn't gone off. The sound was not my washer or dryer.
That's really what I thought it was. You really just like imbue a sound and you like play something on your phone, like okay, he's getting into it.
It was the dryer.
And now Strahd just has the Samsung dryer sound following him around.
He's asking his servants, where the hell is that coming
Count
from?
Samsung.
Can you roll a sleight of hand check, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if they're all passive, but I can definitely roll it.
Oh, I can. It just plays a fart sound. You just give him a magic whoopee cushion.
Damn it! How did you know?
Oh,
Fart noise.
that's a classic Buck move.
Yeah, when we
Don't
find
use
him,
it
it's
on
gonna
the
play the
sound.
dryer finishing song. So
Oh, shit. Use this magic attempt to like gets home and just
we kill Aaron.
we're gonna murder Aaron. Back from the town, Martha, and he hands out his coat and just goes.
No, it goes off
That wasn't me.
It goes off right as he gets into his dark coach to ride away. Is actually the
So-
trigger. But
so
in the
he-
moment of percent,
his-
big fucking whoopee cushion.
The thing that he wants the most gravitas for.
So he does not notice. You do it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What else? What else happens?
So that's it. I'm just like, well, very, very, very pleased to meet you. Properly, Count von Strahd, and I kind of raise my own eyebrow at him using my real last name in order to kind of distract from the fact that I've just done this, and then kind of step back, give him a second look, puff in my pipe a little bit, and walk away. And then, like, as I'm kind of walking away, just like this huge grin kind of on my face disappears as I puff in my pipe.
Anyone else doing anything with Strahd?
I'm just sort of standing across the grave, keeping an eye on it, like standing there with my hands at my sides, just looking at him.
He
No one can stare like a war force. They don't make eye contact or anything.
He looks at Irina and he nods his head at her and he says, "Tatiana," and then he heads back to his coach.
I don't think
And-
that's her name.
And he, as he gets ready to get in his coach, he looks back at Buck. He pulls the string out, drops it on the ground, smiles, and takes off.
He gets into the cart and the string just makes like the saddest little.
I like the idea that he rides away, staring after him, and then it just like goes off after a couple of beats. Yeah, like a balloon flying around the room.
Okay,
Put my hand on
so
his shoulder, like you'll get him next time.
both
That could have gone better.
Yeah, you say that could have gone better, and I pat your shoulders. You'll get him next time.
both Ismark and Irina sigh, kind of like that could have went so much worse, and
We just go over.
and
That's
yeah,
the
so
guy you're so worried about. He seems fine. I don't
Why did he call you Tatiana?
I don't know. That's the first time he's called me anything.
At least he didn't call you buttface, I guess.
You guys, I thought he's been trying to woo you for some time.
Yes, but he's never called me by a name.
I see. What does he normally say to you?
He just tries to convince me to come with him.
Ah, okay. Well, I advise against doing that.
He sounds like what my mentor would call a real lousy piece of shit. No manners, this guy.
All right, so you have interred the Burgomaster. You have the, I guess the two things you have not done in this town that you're aware of is you have the crying house, you have the dude under the floor of the church,
And a pie.
and you have a pie that is slowly becoming worse and worse. You have a pie situation.
It's now like in your coin pouch, just like a bag of pie, like loose crumbles.
So every time I go, my hand goes in, and it's like the glove I'm wearing around this town has gotten like progressively more disgusting at this point.
Just tied
It's
up in
not-
a handkerchief. Like, you know anything about this? And you open it up, it's like, some cat barf? Like, what? What do I know about? Oh god, I don't like the moral dilemma of the kid under the church. I suppose there'll be something there with the crying house as well. They'll
You know-
probably want something
What if we just, and I'm
not.
kind of, I step away from the priest a little bit and kind of walk over to where his DT and.
The priest has actually went back inside the church.
Okay,
At
so
this
we're
point.
sort of like hanging around outside.
He's
I
not
step
fucking
away
with
from
Strahd.
Izzy. I step away from Izzy and Tatiana. Happy, let's win. Over here. And say, I'm not really comfortable with a vampire and just hanging around there. That, like, what if he gets out? Like, that's a. We could just sneak in, kill a vampire, disappear, nobody knows it was us, or just leave it alone.
The
I
way
say
we
we
tend to
keep
do
the father
things.
to the son,
Oh Jesus!
and then end them both.
The way we tend to do things doesn't leave a lot of potential suspects. They'll be like, who burned down this church and blew out its walls with magic fire and left a bunch of weird brass bits behind?
That's we only got like 4 towns that happened in that we got chased out of.
They say, oh, maybe it's that guy who came into town and said, look at all the amazing things I can do with tiny bits of brass, including blow things up.
Will it starve to death?
Hey,
That's a
good
good
question.
We have Arcana.
Ivy would know that vampires are pretty much immortal. They just suffer for not eating. They can't starve to death, but
just go crazy.
they are not in a good way if they haven't eaten. Yes, they pretty much go
He
crazy.
will only get worse and remain a risk for the residents of Barovia.
So he'd become Mr. von Strahd there. He seemed pretty with it. So like vampires drinking blood, man, it makes them at least able to withhold their urges, because from what I could tell, he probably could have just killed all of us right here.
He'd rather play with us.
Yeah, and that's concerning to me because, well, I don't want him to just kill me, because I thought, you know what? That's actually more concerning to me. And here, Buck kind of trails off and puffs on his pipe. He's like, yeah, no, I prefer the toying. Yeah, nope. But still,
Well, the one under the stairs.
He's going to lose control, and if he breaks out at some point, he's just going to kill everybody. Whereas Mr.
And
Vaughn's
if Strahd feels like torturing the residents of Barovia, he could simply release him.
right. So,
Ivy, you know enough to know that a vampire cannot enter a house without being invited.
Invited.
Yeah, that would
Especially
also work
a
for the church.
So he's trapped in the church. There's a risk, but it's moderate to low.
well, you know what? It sounds like he's been there for a year, so I don't think he's going anywhere. We could always blow it up later. I mean,
He suffers.
deal with this problem later. And here I can like stroke this pouch full of minor
Pie.
drafts, explosives. Deal with this
seems
problem
like-
later.
The only one who cares one way or the other about him is the preacher, who has decided to on the arrangement that's existing. So, why meddle?
Unless we end both their lives and ease all of the suffering.
Hey, and I talk over Mr. the Lesser. Mr. the Lesser.
He rolls his eyes because it's not exactly fond of that nickname, but
Young Burgo
Ismark.
Meister Jr.
He just speaks up. Ismark.
All right. I'm sorry, Izzy. So, what's the deal with the vampire downstairs? You say you don't come to church very often, but maybe if you all had some Jesus in your life, you wouldn't have such a fucking vampire problem.
I
You
mean,
know that's not how it works. I guess I don't know.
it's
Vampires a thing? How many vampires are there?
it's Donovich's son. I
Did you know him when he was alive?
yes, not well. I knew of him. We were acquaintances.
Was he a dick?
No, he tried to revolt against Strahd.
Wait.
Okay,
Right,
so
he was,
Sometimes-
he was
Sometimes
convinced
if you
to
kill the
drop
head
it.
vampire, the other ones will return to their former humanity. Perhaps
What
if
if-
we kill Strahd, he'll become human again.
sure. What if we feed him? We got our own vampire on our side who's interested in killing Strahd for a number of reasons.
This
Ooh,
is what
we can
If
put
he's
him on
been
a
bitten by
chain.
Strahd, he'll
Object
always be
lesson.
loyal to him.
Really? I was pissed off at Strahd before that. But what if we're like the guys with the blood? We're like, hey, we got blood. You can do what we say. We give you some blood. Blood for
Strahd is
blood for charms and stuff.
Strahd is his sire. That's not how it works.
Best to leave it. This
That
is
sounds
object lesson.
complicated. Let's leave.
All right.
Here, Bucket's kind of like just decided that this problem doesn't have a neat, tidy solution, or also one that is neat and tidy because of explosions, and it's just like, I don't care about this problem anymore. Let's go somewhere else. And just like sort of sulkily puffs on his pipe. He's like, ah.
All right, are you leaving town then, or are you just leaving the church?
Let's take this lady on to the next village. I think is our plan here.
Okay.
And see if we can solve the pie mystery. I'll tell the priest to try feeding his son animal blood on the way out.
Or this pie.
Or this pie. Pig or beef.
You know, I don't think the priest was interested in the pie. I put it back in the pouch.
I regret giving you that pie. Can we retcon that you ever got that pie?
No, it's always
the pie
going to
is
be the
great.
first question.
You know, being troll.
It's
It
going to be
sounds
our
like you're-
do you
Sounds like
do
you're
you know what
struggling
he's
in
saying?
these trying times. Can I offer you a pie?
In these pieing times.
Hello, do you know anything about this pie? Do you know where sailors hang out?
What can you tell me about their 4 woo-doo? Would you like to play a game of Lucky Hit?
Oh god.
Would you like to play a game of Lucky Hit?
Over and
All right, so as you head out of town, Ismark tells you that he's going to stay behind because there's no one to take over for his father in the town.
Why would you
have
stay
fun doing
behind? You said
whatever
they don't.
Margo does.
It doesn't seem very necessary.
Also, you've said they don't respect you. Why would you stay behind?
Because someone has to do what they can for this town.
What are you gonna do?
And what were you doing before? Didn't really seem to be doing much.
My father died 3 days ago.
All right, all
Fair
right,
enough.
all right, Burger Junior, you hang here, and no, you know what? No, it's fine. You'll probably have some affairs to take care of while your sister's off. We'll see if we can get her somewhere safe. How will you know where we have taken her?
I trust you.
So you don't care where she goes somewhere as long as it's safe.
Away, yeah, safe away from the castle.
All right.
We will send you word when we reach Valakai.
Valaki.
Khaki.
Souvlaki.
When we reach Gap Khakis, we will send word. We will always come up with new names for all of the Barovian fauna. Yeah, we'll send word if we decide to continue on to the Abbey. But for now, we ride.
All right.
Do you have horses for us, or a pony for me?
Oh. No.
Oh, yeah, is there?
Damn it! I kicked a rock.
What about a large pig? $4.
All right. So you guys are back here.
On the old road out of Barovia.
I gotta give. This is probably not gonna go great, but you all should be able to move that token. Please don't fight.
Fight.
Can you move it?
If I grab it, no, I don't.
All
think
right.
so.
No.
Maybe I don't have. Oh, I have you. Okay. Now you all can move it. All right. So don't just go all over the place though, because I gotta tell things that happen.
Jump in the river.
All right, so basically we are at the point in the campaign where you guys can kind of do what you want and go where you want. You have the task of bringing her to Valaki, which if you zoom out, you can see where Valaki is. I can ping it.
Further along that road.
And then
almost
further
to the
along
edge
that
of
road
the
is Kresk. Way over here.
I don't think we can make Krusk in a day's march.
Oh, I don't know if either of those.
Each hex is a quarter mile. And I would have to pull up travel real quick again.
Got this. Can you leave markers with this like you could in the other one? So Valaki is 8 miles as the crow flies, but
As the road goes, it's probably double that at least.
That's a day's hike.
I think we can make Valaki in a day. I don't think we can make Krusk tonight, so I think we should try Valaki out, and if it seems like it's safe there, we can always leave Irina Tatiana there, and I don't know. This counts.
So at a normal pace, you can make 24 miles in a day.
I would say on the road we're looking at like 19 to Valaki. So assuming no shortcuts, no hiccups, it's a day's travel. But what are the odds of that? So probably 2 days. And it takes us past what looks to be a sort of big open field with Strahd's castle at the end. So we might want to pull wide and figure another way out.
And you don't have to go straight there. You can wander off. Like, it's whatever you guys want to do.
Well, I see little
think-
doodads and
let's
stuff.
get
This
moving.
looks... I don't
Let's
want
get
to...
moving this way here.
peek the map and spoil anything.
So hold on just a second.
It's
As
6
you,
o'clock. Do we want to call it here?
yeah, that I was gonna suggest.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That is a good
Um,
call, because the dog is
Okay.
acting like she needs to go for a walk.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll
There's
call it
some
here, and we'll come back, and it'll be open for you guys to go do stuff.
Sweet. That's a lot of options.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool,
this
man.
is
Thanks a lot.
yeah. All right.
We'll
Adventure of
pull
the
Irina
pie.
for what she might want.
Oh my god, the
That is
pie.
a lot of-
It's like Dole's rock on his character sheet. We need a persistent thing that's just
Just this little
was not
pile of-
intended but becomes
Update
canon.
my my Hero Forge token so that he's offering a pie instead of having like a bow in one hand. There's just a pie.
No.